Right, just the microsynth is just running into this very small practice amp because I can't bother to turn my proper amp on. This is just so people understand what it does, because there seems to be a lot of misinformation about people assume it does things it doesn't, and I just want to sell it, and it needs to go to someone who actually knows what they're getting. So basically everything's down at the moment. Start frequency is where the synth starts. If you've got it all the way down, then it will just start from where if you've got start frequency all the way down, stop frequency all the way up, that will basically be your normal guitar sound. There is a pot on the inside that you can adjust to adjust the gain that goes into the pedal. Basically just determines how loud it is, but it will start to distort if you turn it up too much. It's on about halfway at the moment, which is pretty much stock. If I turn the guitar and the voice mix all the way up, you should just get the normal guitar sound. So no pedal, pedal. Thing to note with this pedal is that even when the trigger is all the way down, it will still glitch. So if I play this, it will only come in. Basically, the lower the gain down is on the internal pot, basically the harder you'll have to hit it, because this is me playing lightly. It doesn't even trigger the synth. If I hit it hard and then lightly, it kind of just comes through if I get a bit harder. So that's just something to be aware of, and it also won't sustain. It won't sustain like a normal guitar. It won't. So, for example, this is how it would sound if you played a chord with no pedal on. It'll stay like that for a while, and it sustains quite a lot. Then it fades out. With the synth in, it does this. It just cuts off, because as soon as the sound falls below that trigger, it will just cut the signal. But it's still, if you hit it hard enough, it sustains for a long time. I mean, probably more than you'd need anyway. Yes, that's the guitar. Sub-octave is obviously bass, so obviously you can hear it glitching because it's monophonic, so if you're playing more than one note at a time, it's going to start jumping. The octave is obviously octave above, like an octave fuzz, so and then the square wave is just a distortion, so bit sort of super fuzzy, so with the octave and the square wave mixed in, you can kind of get a nice sort of octave fuzz sound, like and then bringing in the sub octave again. So with where I've set it at the moment, to get it that unity, you pretty much have to sort of max out the sliders. It's probably clipping on the mic as well. So the trigger, once you start messing around with the trigger and the attack delay, so if you put the attack delay all the way up, it will fade in like a sort of violin sound. So and then when you start messing around with the trigger, that's when you kind of get the filter sounds and the synth sounds. The resonance just does this, so off with resonance all the way down. As you push it up, it just adds a real sort of higher frequency. When you start messing around with the trigger, that's when you bring in the synth. And then there's the rate knob that determines how quickly it travels between the two frequencies, so it's on quite low at the moment, so you'll get this sort of sound. So then push it higher, push them up so it's a bit higher. So obviously you can hear as I play faster, it's not triggering on all the notes. So if I push the rate up, I'll push the rate right up and lower the trigger, it should. You just get it just so it comes. Obviously you can hear it's quite glitchy, so if I just max everything out, so all the four are up, triggers up, the rate's up. I'll bring the rate down. Obviously, as I've mentioned in the thing, one of the sliders is busted off, but you can still get to it just by using a screwdriver or something. So obviously now I push the rate down. It's weird. The rate works in reverse. So the higher up it is, the longer it takes to change between two frequencies. The lower down it is, the quicker it comes in. So when it's quite far down, you kind of get this sort of quacking wah sound. So, which means you can play faster and it will react with every note. It's kind. You can kind of get away with playing some. Sometimes you can kind of get away with playing two notes like, but then obviously you can't. So. When you play two notes, it just messes up because it can only recognise one note at a time. So, power chords you can get away with sometimes. But then the lower down you go, it kind of messes up a bit. So, it's potluck really. This is mainly for using proper synth sounds and using it as a synth pedal rather than anything else.